Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening, I'm Karen Harch. Nolan Johannes has the night off. The officials have been meeting all day, trying once again to keep open the West Side landfill. The dump that was scheduled to close last week is now supposed to shut down on Wednesday. Newswatch 16's Joe Ducey is live at DER headquarters in Wilkes-Barre with the latest Beat the Deadline effort. Joe?
Well, Karen, after 2 meetings today that lasted a total of about 5 hours, DER and the West Side landfill say that they made a lot of progress today towards keeping that shutdown, the planned shutdown on Wednesday, from really happening. In fact, they agreed on 8 of 9 different issues. One still outstanding, and it doesn't include a meeting between the two to resolve that issue. With me now are both attorneys. First of all, Amy Putnam from DER and also Philip Medico from the landfill. Let me ask you, first of all, 5 hours of meetings today. I mean, you've been meeting before this. What was the big holdup here? We heard that it was something, a possibility of a plan that needed to come up before the landfill had to have a plan for the future.
Well, Joe, Amy and I have conceptually agreed on a preliminary draft of the consent order on the remaining 8 issues. The only unresolved issue is the county involvement with the bond, and conditioned on that is what the county is looking for is a viable plan for continued operations, which we feel can be accomplished.
Can that be accomplished by Wednesday, though? They meet Wednesday morning.
Well, that I would be hesitant to comment at this point, but we're surely going to make our best efforts.
Okay. As far as DER is concerned, who made the biggest moves here?
Well, I think that there has been progress all the way along. We have been having a number of meetings over the past months, and I can't really say that anybody made more moves than anybody else. We finally resolved our differences.
Okay, now the one that remains is of the county bond. Is that something that DER said has to come about before there can be any kind of agreement?
There has to be a bond, yes.
Yeah.
That is a requirement.
Okay. Now, let me ask you about this plan for the future. Was that a big consideration?
Well, I believe that it is a consideration. I believe it's a major consideration, and I will be presenting that to our board this evening at 7 o'clock. And it surely ties into the county involvement, but the kicker at this point relates specifically to the bond requirement, which is now incumbent upon the county and the landfill to work out. So
both of you are confident that this is going to be worked out by Wednesday? This is as close as we are to an agreement to keep this open permanently?
I certainly would hope that things will be worked out by Wednesday.
Because DER said not another temporary extension.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So Amy will bring this back now to DER. Philip will bring this back tonight to the West Side landfill, and possibly the commissioner is going to be Wednesday, and possibly an agreement on Wednesday. Joe Ducey, Newswatch 16, live in Wilkes-Barre. Karen?
Thank you, Joe. A meeting is set for tonight on plans for a landfill in Lackawanna County, the controversial proposal for the Keystone landfill to put a garbage dump in Troop. From Skycam 16, you can see the area where the landfill would be located. Tonight, Troop Council will hold a work session with people from Keystone. The Borough Planning Commission already turned down the landfill proposal. Now it's up to Council to decide. Tonight's meeting is open to the public, but residents of Troop cannot give their opinions until next week's public hearing on the landfill idea. Dirty water problems have apparently been solved at a swimming pool in Luzerne County. The 40-foot pool is open once again now that a temporary filter has been put on the water line. The pool was closed last week because of dirty water. Officials suspected that tap water used to fill the pool was coming in muddy. But crews have since cleaned the pool, and now that a filter has been installed, 40-foot officials hope the pool can stay open. Some kids we found at the pool this afternoon could not be happier.
I think it's great because some people don't have pools and they don't know what to do on hot days. Because we like to swim around in it. It's really fun.
A permanent filter should be installed at the 40-foot pool later this week. And coming up, the business people who are hoping to convince the governor that liquor candy will be just dandy for Pennsylvania. Plus, a little later, it's supposed to be knee-high by the 4th of July. We'll check out this year's corn crop as Newswatch 16 continues.
Come see us for Quality Plus.
Quality.
The all-new Ford Festiva.
The Plus.
Ford's lowest price car starting at just $57.65.
Quality.
Ford Escort.
The Plus.
Low 3.9 financing or $300 cash bonus.
Quality.
The award-winning Ford Taurus.
The Plus.
5.9 financing or $500 cash bonus.
Come see us for Quality Plus.
And get your low financing or cash bonus. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
Have high jewelry prices been freezing you out? Don't be left out in the cold. Stroud's Jewelers is having a sizzling hot jewelry Dutch auction. Save 30% on selected merchandise all this week, or 40% the week of July 13th, or 50% the week of July 20th. Buy early for the best selection, or wait for the best prices. Warm up with savings during Stroud's sizzling hot jewelry Dutch auction. Hurry, our supply of magnificent jewelry is melting fast.
A plan to make liquor-filled candy here in Pennsylvania is just a signature away. A bill which would allow that is on the governor's desk waiting for his okay. As Newswatch 16's Valerie Devine reports, a Swiss chocolate maker from Pike County is counting on Governor Casey so it can open its new candy-making plant in the Poconos.
The letters on the wall at Airmark tell the story. After 2 years of writing to state legislators and urging them to change state law, 27-year-old Janina Sitko is close to winning her battle. She admits it's been a long and expensive fight, but she's optimistic her company will come out on top.
Years have gone by, contracts have been lost, and for it finally to be almost approved and hopefully signed by the governor, it's a very good feeling.
Airmark, as it's known here in the United States, runs out of this tiny office in Greentown. There's also a tiny chocolate store that's located near Lake Wallenpaupack. But right now, the only thing you'll find here are imported Swiss chocolates. No liquor-filled candies are allowed. One of Airmark's biggest hurdles is in trying to convince people that their chocolates aren't harmful. For instance, even if children would eat these chocolates, federal tests show they would have to eat 4 to 5 pounds of chocolate at a cost of more than $150 just to get enough alcohol to equal 1 glass of beer.
It's not a moral issue. The product is much too expensive to be abused. It's a gourmet item. It's a specialty item for adults who would like to have that kind of an item.
If the governor signs the bill allowing Airmark to manufacture here, the company is faced with yet another decision: which county to take its plant and 110 jobs. Right now it's a toss-up between Lackawanna, Wayne, Monroe, and Carbon. The company hopes to make its decision by the end of the month. Valerie Devine, Newswatch 16, Wayne County.
Some changes are in the works at one of Pennsylvania's well-known universities. That's our first story tonight as we take a look at Pennsylvania in a minute. After a strike at Temple University in Philadelphia last fall, the school announced today that it's getting rid of some part-time teachers, but it's spending almost $3.5 million to hire more full-time faculty members and offer merit pay to outstanding teachers. Closer to home, work started today to take the asbestos out of 3 school buildings in the Schuylkill Haven area district. The district is spending $20,000 to remove asbestos at the middle school and 2 elementary schools. In Scranton, a police chase this morning ended with 4 people hurt and 1 man in trouble with the law. Police say they chased Nicholas Stefano's car for 2 blocks before he rammed it into a van on North Hyde Park Avenue. The 4 people in the van were not seriously hurt. And finally, a bouncing baby pony was born at the SPCA in Luzerne County today. The mother is Brandy, one of the abused horses taken to the animal shelter earlier this year. Since some people are still celebrating the 4th of July holiday, the newborn was named Brandy's Firecracker. And that's Pennsylvania in a minute. Well, our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is fresh back from vacation. And while you were away, you celebrated a birthday. So happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you, Karen.
I won't ask how old you are.
Do I look a day over 30? I mean...
No, 28.
28 and holding.
Yeah.
Not quite. Well, when we come back, I'll talk about what's ahead weather-wise, and I'll show you where the rain is now. You're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP TV. We're proud to serve Minersville and all of Schuylkill County.
This is a beer that's everything a fine imported beer ought to be. It's brewed with all natural ingredients, the way fine imported beers are brewed. Bottled in tall green glass, the way fine imported beers are bottled. This is Rolling Rock Premium Beer, brewed by the Latrobe Brewing Company and imported in bottles and cans from Latrobe, PA.
This is an Anderson high-performance window. We like to think of it as a see-through computer. It's programmed to detect heat. It knows when to keep heat out and when to hold it in. It's 42% more energy efficient than ordinary double panes. It even controls fabric fading rays. Come in and see for yourself before things get too wild outside.
Distributed by Pittston Lumber Company, quality building materials for over 30 years.
Well, Tom returns and brings with him the 3 H's, hazy, hot, and humid, I guess, this week. Right, Tom?
Looks like it's on the way, Karen, once again, typical for July. Good to be back in my backyard once again. The lawn doesn't look too bad. We had quite a bit of rain last week, and Noreen's petunias are doing fabulous, as you can see. And we have cloudy skies overhead now. There have been reports of a few light showers out to the west. We'll look at the radar in just a moment and the close-up satellite view after I tell you what's happening now in Juniata County. My weather watcher, Dot Spear in Northfield, tells me 80 and cloudy at her place now. Mike Benish in Harding tells me 78. And John Gilpin in Greentown, Pike County, has 81 degrees at his place now. Next, we go high above Lackawanna County. A bird's eye view today from Skycam 16 overlooking the Clark Summit area in northern Lackawanna County. Just a bit hazy on the horizon. 78 degrees out back. The humidity, 56%. The wind is from the south at 12, gusting to 17. The barometer falling from 30.10. We topped off at 81 this afternoon, 65, kind of a muggy start today. 82 and 61 is normal for this time of year for the highs and lows. Record high, 98, 43 degrees back in 1979, and we hit 90 1 year ago today. Now, here's the Skywatch 16 live Doppler radar, but it is not detecting any showers or thunderstorms across the eastern half of Pennsylvania at this hour, but that could change later on this evening. Taking a glance at the U.S. cloud photograph, this one just in, very humid air is now beginning to work its way back into Pennsylvania from the west. And you can kind of see the dry air to the east. It's nice and clear, but the spotty showers and thunderstorms. 3 inches of rain at Terre Haute, Indiana today. Some streams are flooding in parts of Indiana. And even as we speak, more severe thunderstorms are developing now out across parts of the Midwest. Out in Tucson, Arizona, 64, the record low this morning. For the last I checked, they were up to 104 degrees with the humidity of 8% out there. 8%, very dry. Close up of the northeast, here we have some showers now over the north central mountains of Pennsylvania, out around Bradford, and a few light showers in parts of Juniata County and out by west of Altoona. But nothing in here yet, but I expect later on tonight, as a warm front does slowly work its way across the area, the clouds will stay with us, and there is a chance of some showers later on tonight. Kind of a hit or miss, probably dry down by the Lehigh Valley area. Allentown and Bethlehem, a dry night tonight, but elsewhere could shower, and temperatures will stay in the 60s overnight tonight, and the breeze will be kind of a gusty this evening out of the south overnight, averaging 12 miles per hour. And the sunrise time tomorrow morning, 5:37, and sunsets now at 8:39. Days getting shorter by about a minute each day. So overnight, mostly cloudy, chance of a shower overnight tonight, and we'll take the rain, especially when it comes at night. The best time, 68, the overnight low, kind of a warm night. More humid tomorrow. Kind of a cloudy day, a little bit of sun from time to time, but a shower cannot be ruled out, maybe even a thunder shower in the afternoon or tomorrow evening. 81 in the backyard, 87 on Wednesday, partly sunny, and then I think it's really going to cook on Thursday and Friday, up close to within a few degrees of 90 both days. Hot, sunny, humid, perfect for getting out in the backyard pool. And Karen, maybe we should find somebody we know who has a pool. You know?
Yeah, let's check into that. Now, Tom, once again, what constitutes a heat wave? Because you have 2 days there with 90. Would that be a heat wave?
This would constitute a heat wave. I'd say, you know, when you have like 3 days up close to 90, you're talking heat wave. So I think we're going to be in that kind of situation later this week. Okay, we'll have to play that song later. Thanks, Tom. Okay. Well, the weather we've been having lately has been good for growing sweet corn. Farmers say this year's crop is coming along just fine. But as Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini found in Columbia County today, most of the corn is not yet ripe for the picking.
The saying goes, knee-high by 4th of July. Well, the early sweet corn in Alan Hellwig's Columbia County field is waist-high.
If you have the right rain and sunlight and all, it'll make sweeter corn. Corn itself will be sweeter to eat. So this year you feel you've got it? Mm-hmm, yep.
The corn is not quite ready for picking, maybe a week from now. Hellwig says he and his family love sweet corn on the cob, but here it's more than just adding a little butter. There's a lot of bread at stake.
Yeah.
How is the price right now?
Pretty good right now. It's been holding right around anywhere from $1.70 on up a dozen. Once it goes down below $1.50 or so, why then you're not going to make too much on sweet corn.
There are rows and rows of field corn, that is, corn for animal feed. You can tell by the lush green color, these two are doing quite well. Of course, the good weather for sweet corn means it's also been good weather for most of the other crops. And if corn isn't your thing, here at the Hellwig Farm, there's some nice zucchini ready for picking. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Locust Township, Columbia County.
Still ahead, why a walk in the park is good therapy for some senior campers. Plus, Tim Carlson with the story on a couple of former Penn State players in the money. And a super weekend for an area cyclist. The Sports Watch is next.
Look for the SureSave stamp of approval, and you'll find great weekly specials like these.
Maxwell House Instant Coffee, 8-ounce jar, $3.69. 1-pound can of Maxwell House Coffee, $1.29. Stroman's King or Ranch Bread, buy one, get one free. And red or white seedless grapes, 69 cents a pound.
When you want the very best, look for SureSave.
Look for the SureSave stamp of approval at a locally owned supermarket near you.
Hi, I'm Steve Maranko from Motor Twins, the Ford Giant. Let me tell you about an offer that's fantastic. At Motor Twins, the Ford Giant, you can drive away in a new Ford Tempo for only $146 a month, and that's not the best news. There's no down payment at all. So you can drive away in a brand new 87 Tempo for only $146 a month and no down payment. Come in and see us. Get your new Ford Tempo today, and we'll even give you a free service book worth $260. The Ford Giant Motor Twins is always working for you.
I just have to make mention, I hope you caught the Williamsport Bills game here on NEP yesterday, because Tim, you and Paul Olis and Tom Tidy did a real nice job, and the Bills won, so that was good.
Yeah, we had a fun time, and of course our technical crew always does a superb network quality job. In
That's
fact,
for sure.
We should show the network how to do baseball. A couple of former Penn State players who were first-round draft picks making pro football news today. Remember big number 31 for Penn State, linebacker Shane Conlon? Well, he was chosen by the Buffalo Bills, you remember, in the first round of the NFL draft. Well, he is very close to signing with that team for a reported $1 million. And the guy we told you who was very close to signing last week with his team has running back DJ Dozier, number 42 right here, signed a 2-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings today. Terms of the deal not disclosed, but it's reportedly worth, you got it, $1 million. Dozier chosen by the Vikings in the first round of the NFL draft this year after Deej helped lead Penn State to a national championship and the team in rushing the last 4 years. Well, remember last Friday when we told you about the big national cycle championships being held at the Lehigh Valley Velodrome near Allentown? I'm sure you remember. It was a great story, and, well, a young cyclist, speaking of great stories, who was featured in that story about those races, came up a big winner. But then again, that's nothing new for Scranton's Dave Lettieri. Dave Lettieri helped his team win a national championship in a pursuit event Saturday night. Actually, to be more specific, Lettieri won a national title himself in the 4-man pursuit and also won a second-place honor in the men's individual pursuit and came up with a 4th-place finish in the kilo event. Those excellent credentials make Dave a sure shot for the United States cycling team in the Pan Am Games coming up in Indianapolis next month, and then maybe for more world-class competition.
Well, I usually take one thing at a time. I mean, I don't really think that far ahead, but I mean, the ultimate goal for next year is the Olympic Games, and hopefully we'll have a good showing. We did in 84. Our team pursuit team got second, so hopefully we'll have another good showing in 88.
Now today, Dave Lettieri is in Colorado Springs, Colorado for the final phase of the Pan Am Games selection process. But since Dave did so well at the Velodrome this past weekend, there's little doubt he'll be in Indy for the Pan Am Games. By the way, the 2 other cyclists featured in our story last Friday also did very well. That's Connie Paraskeven-Young. She won her 4th straight senior women's national sprint title, while Scott Berryman won the senior men's sprint title for the 2nd year in a row. There's some disappointing news for Boston Celtics fans. You won't be seeing big number 5 next year, it looks like, because Reserve center Bill Walton will probably miss most of next season while recovering from major foot surgery. That surgery is scheduled for tomorrow. Now, if this all sounds familiar, maybe a little deja vu for you, well, Walton had this operation 6 years ago. He missed an entire season following that operation. Now, he says he's optimistic about not missing next year because of the operation, but he had trouble with his right foot and ankle most of last season, ended up playing just 22 games the entire year. I don't know if the big redhead's going to be back after that because he turns, what, 34 at the end of the season or 35, and I don't know, coming back in the NBA at 36 is tough. All right, Monday Night Baseball coming up here on Channel 16 tonight. If you're a Yankee fan, Karen, a little applause, please. You're going to like it. They'll be playing Minnesota in an 8 o'clock starter. Just one game this afternoon out at Wrigley Field, the Cubs in San Diego. We wanted to bring you highlights, but we had some technical problems. I will tell you this. Andre Dawson has a couple of homers, numbers 22 and 23, 4 RBIs on the day. Keith Moreland has hit home run number 14, and the Cubs win it 7-0 over the Padres this afternoon. By the way, wanted to mention about Mark McGwire, that great Oakland A's ball player, Rookie of the Year candidate. He is the first guy to hit 30 home runs before the All-Star break. I didn't know if you were aware of that. First rookie guy ever to do that. That is quite an accomplishment. And if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, I think he could stop playing now, and he could still win Rookie of the Year, but got a feeling that he'll be making an appearance in the All-Star game next week, even though he's not really. I wrote him in on the All-Star ballot when I was down at the Phillies game a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know if he's going to make it. We'll have to see.
Well, you know what? You said good news for Yankees fans. The game is on tonight. Well, that's kind of been jinxing the Yankees. Monday Night Baseball, so.
They'll win tonight, Karen. How's that?
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
All right.
Thanks, Tim. Still ahead, who says you need a tent to go camping? We'll show you the seniors, how they got a taste of the outdoors when Newswatch 16 continues.
This is for people who like a salad with a little imagination, with garden fresh vegetables and totally delicious dressings. The place is called Wendy's, and people who take their salads seriously come here all the time, whether to eat them here or to go. Wendy's. Oh, we forgot to tell you about our taco salad. There.
Hey, come here. Closer. Now put your nose right on this towel. Sniff. Smell anything? No, nothing? Then you're getting the picture. It's new unscented liquid Tide. It's 100% perfume-free. And what's so nice about that is, since there's no perfume here, there's nothing to smell here. Except clean. New unscented liquid Tide. All you smell is clean.
Finally tonight, if you think summer camp is just for kids, think again. Today is the first day of this year's Senior Citizen Camp Out here at McDade Park in Scranton. It's a chance for elderly residents of nursing homes in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area to get outside and meet new friends.
It's really good to get out like this is and get out in the air a little bit, too.
Today, about 75 senior citizens went camping. Actually, they will not stay overnight. They don't have tents or anything. But just having the chance to enjoy the outdoors is a nice break from the monotony. The Senior Citizens Camp Out is sponsored by the Deutsch Institute in Lackawanna County, and it continues every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday throughout the summer. And that's a nice, enjoyable day. That's Newswatch 16 for tonight. Be sure to join us tonight after the game on Newswatch 16 Update, when we'll have more on what's going on with the area landfills. And next on World News Tonight, a look at how Oliver North may testify when he appears at the Iran-Contra hearings tomorrow. For the entire team, including Nolan, who's enjoying this day off, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your evening.
Videotape camera, you can become part of the Newswatcher network. When you see news, you can shoot news.